What if I were to tell you that Australia, the land down under, was once part of a supercontinent named Gondwana? That's right, buckle up, because we're about to embark on an incredible journey back in time. Around 180 million years ago, Earth's landmass was one supercontinent, Gondwana. Over millions of years, this massive land began to break apart, and one of the fragments that drifted away was what we now know as Australia. Its separation from Gondwana was a significant event that led to the development of its unique flora and fauna. Imagine a world where kangaroos, koalas, and other unique Australian animals roam freely in other parts of the world. But due to Australia's isolation after the breakup, these creatures evolved independently, creating a distinct biodiversity found nowhere else on Earth. So the birth of Australia as a continent was a process that took millions of years, shaping the diverse and unique environment we see today. Have you ever wondered who the first inhabitants of Australia were? Let's take a step back in time, about 65,000 years ago, to the arrival of the Aboriginal people. They weren't merely inhabitants, but deeply connected custodians of the land they called home. Aboriginal cultures are rich and varied, each with its own language, traditions, and spiritual beliefs. These cultures are woven into the very fabric of the Australian landscape, with stories told through art, music, and oral traditions that reverberate across millennia. A profound spiritual connection to the land, known as dreaming or the dream time, lies at the heart of Aboriginal cultures, linking past, present, and future in a continuous thread of existence. Despite the passage of time, these ancient cultures have proven resilient, surviving and adapting to changing circumstances. The Aboriginal people, with their deep-rooted culture and spirituality, have been the custodians of the Australian land for thousands of years. But what happened when Europeans set foot on Australian soil for the first time? Picture this. The year is the early 17th century. The Dutch explorers sailing the vast oceans stumble upon the shores of a new land, a continent unknown to the European world, Australia. These Dutch explorers were the first Europeans to document their discovery, but they considered it inhospitable and moved on. Fast forward to the year 1788. The first fleet of British convicts, along with officers and marines, arrive. They establish the first European settlement in what is now known as Sydney. This marked the beginning of the British colonisation of Australia, a period that would have profound effects on the indigenous population. From that point on, the indigenous cultures clashed with the new settlers, leading to conflict and drastic changes in the demographic and cultural landscape of Australia. The European discovery and colonisation marked a new chapter in Australia's history, one filled with both progress and conflict. And how did Canberra, a city designed from scratch, become Australia's capital, you may wonder? Let's journey back to the early 20th century. Australia was a young nation, and a rivalry between Sydney and Melbourne for the title of capital was brewing. To settle this dispute, in 1908, a compromise was reached. Canberra, a location between these two cities, was chosen as the capital. But Canberra was not just any city. It was a city designed with vision and precision. Enter the American architects, Walter Burley Griffin and Marion Mahoney Griffin. Their design for Canberra was unlike any other. They envisioned a city that would embody the democratic ideals of the country, a city where the natural and built environments would blend seamlessly. And so they set to work, turning a rural landscape into a thriving metropolis. Thus Canberra, a city born out of rivalry and designed with vision, became the heart of Australian politics. So, what have we learned about Australia's rich and diverse history? We've ventured from the birth of a continent where tectonic forces shaped the land of Australia millions of years ago. We've walked alongside the first people, the Aboriginals, who arrived here over 60,000 years ago, leaving a profound cultural imprint that still resonates today. We've sailed with European explorers, witnessing the discovery and colonisation that began in the late 18th century, forever changing the face of Australia. And we've watched the birth of Canberra, the planned city that emerged in the early 20th century, growing into a symbol of unity and the vibrant heart of the nation. Through these epochs, we've traced the threads of history that have woven the rich tapestry of Australia's past. Every chapter, every event, every encounter has shaped and moulded the Australia we know today. From its ancient origins to its vibrant present, Australia's history is a captivating journey that has shaped the country we know and love today.